Ladies and friends, before we start this ceremony this afternoon, I have a couple of things I need to ask of you. Would you please put your electronic appliances on some kind of a silent mode? Cell phones especially. Turn them off or just put them on a silent mode. And we certainly do appreciate doing that. Also, the worshipful master and the grand master will pick up and employ this gavel and the one on the master's pedestal, and they apply to the masons. So you ladies will not have to worry at all about these gavels. And we hope that you will enjoy this ceremony. And if you cannot rise and stand on your feet for any reason whatsoever, comfortably, please stay seated. Because you can say a prayer, you can listen to a prayer, and you can say the Pledge of Allegiance seated. We hope you enjoy this. Thank you very much. Yeah. You lose that off? Go ahead. And join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. You will proceed to the apartment of the Grand Lodge and inform the Most Worshipful Grand Master that the Brethren of Barrington Lodge number 522 are prepared to receive the officers of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge and with pleasure the Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Grand Lodge officers will be in attendance in due time.
Officers, open ranks, march. Inward face.
Brethren, you will join me in according the grand honors. Together, brethren. Officers, right and left face. Those ranks, march. Prepare for your respective stations and places in the lodge. Forward, march.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. We're here to celebrate Barrington Lodge number 522's 150th year. And we certainly, it is our pleasure to be here and assist in this ceremony. And in order for you to get a little better idea of some of the ceremony you are going to be seeing, I'm going to call on our Junior Grand Warden, Mother Joe Farrell, to give you a little explanation of some of the ceremonies you are about to do. Brother Joe?
Thank you, Grandmaster. In the rededication of the Masonic Hall, we reenact certain ancient ceremonies. These are ceremonies that have been handed down to us as a part of our proud heritage from the days when the operative craftsmen of the Middle Ages erected those noble structures and soaring cathedrals of Europe and the British Isles. Although the hall in which we are assembled was constructed and dedicated many years ago, we have seen fit to meet on this historic occasion to rededicate it to the high purposes of Freemasonry, and by so doing, to remind ourselves of those lofty principles and ideals to which each one of us has pledged ourselves when we became members of this ancient and honorable fraternity. First of all, the principal architect, or a brother representing him, presents the plumb, square, and level, the familiar tools of the operative craftsman, the Grand Master. These are the tools that were used so skillfully by the workmen as they constructed this building. They remind us there is need for each master mason to constantly measure himself alongside these standards of perfection. The level demonstrates that we are all descendants of the same stock, partake of the same nature, share the same hope, and that no eminence of station should ever make us forget that we are brothers. The plumb admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations before God and man. The square reminds us that we should always strive to square our actions by the square of virtue, that we may be prepared to pass the test supreme, that all our actions will compare with the divine, the unerring square that squares great virtue's plan. Then, like our ancestors in a far-off age, following the path of the sun in its course from east to west by the way of the south, the Grand Lodge officers pass in solemn procession around the altar and the symbol representing the lodge placed before it. In so doing, we again imitate our ancient brethren, who walked in procession through the cloisters, along the aisles, and across the transept into the sanctuary to inspect the work of the craft, comparing it to the designs of the master builder on the trestle. With the mystic symbols, then, the hall is dedicated. First, to Freemasonry, whose great promise is that through fraternalism, it is possible for good men to be made better, wiser, and consequently happier. Next, to virtue, for although veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols, Freemasonry is, by its very nature, a course of moral instruction. Finally, to universal benevolence. For although faith may be lost in sight and hope ends in fruition, charity extends beyond the grave to the boundless realms of eternity. Thus, brethren, ladies, and friends, have a significant meaning of the ceremonies you are about to witness. Let this moment be to each of us a moment of solemn rededication. Let each craftsman examine himself by the exacting standards of the square, the plumb, and the level, to the end that these rough ashlars represented by our lives may become perfect ashlars, that each individual spirit may become a living stone in that spiritual building, that house not made of hands, but eternal.
Most worshipful Grand Master, Brother, Barrington Lodge number 522, being animated with a desire to promote the interest and honor of the craft, have acquired and furnished this hall for their accommodation and convenience. Should the same be your approbation, they desire that it be solemnly dedicated for Masonic purposes, according to ancient form and usage.
According to the teachings of our ancient institution, it becomes our duty, before entering upon any great or important undertaking, to invoke the blessing of God. We will therefore unite with our grand chaplain in prayer. With all those who could comfortably do so, please rise.
O thou great and eternal Lord God, source of light and love, the supreme Grand Master and mighty architect of the wonders of creation, who from thy throne in the highest heaven, in mercy, lookest down upon all the dwellers of earth. Incline thine ear to the prayers and petitions of thy children, now assembled in thy presence, to teach the mysteries of that sublime edifice, which is erected and dedicated to thy most holy and glorious name. Pour upon us and all the members of the mystic craft throughout the world the rich blessings of thy providence. Give us strength to overcome temptation, to subdue our passions, and to practice virtue. Fill our hearts with confidence without presumption, with piety without illusion, and with tender affection for thy divine goodness and love for our neighbors. Make us faithful to our friends and charitable to our enemies. Dispose our hearts to receive the helpful impressions of religion and humanity, and direct our footsteps in the bright paths of virtue. Let all our actions prove to mankind that our lives are sincerely dedicated to Thee, our God, and to the relief of our fellow creatures. And finally, when our spirits return unto Thee, the source of life, may we, bearing the rich harvest of worthy deeds, be admitted into the sublime and eternal lodge, where happiness reigns without alloy, and around the throne of the great Jehovah sing hallelujahs to His name. Now to the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise God, be the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen.
So I read it.
Please be seated.
Most worshipful Grand Master, having been entrusted with the duty of supervising and directing the workmen deployed in the building of this edifice, and having to the best of my ability performed the task assigned, I now return with thanks for the honor of this position, and beg me to return to you the implements entrusted to my care when the cornerstone of this building was laid. Humbly hoping that the results of our labors will be crowned by your approbation and that of the most worshipful Grand Lodge.
Brother Architect, the skill and fidelity displayed by you in the execution of the trust reposed in you at the commencement of this undertaking have met with the approval of the Grand Lodge, and they sincerely pray that this edifice continue a lasting monument to the taste, spirit, and liberality of its founders.
Most worshipful Grand Master, the hall in which we are now assembled, the plans upon which it has been constructed, having met with your approbation, it is the desire of the brethren that it should now be rededicated according to ancient Masonic form, usage, and custom.
Right, worshipful brother, agreeably to the request of the brethren, we will now commence with the ceremonies. Brother Grand Marshal, you will form the Grand Lodge officers in procession.
Grand Lodge officers. Form on the north side of the lodge in single file, facing east. with prayer.
Almighty Father, as thou hast promised, when 2 or 3 are gathered together in thy name, to be present with them, we humbly beseech thee that thou wouldst now be present and direct our hearts in thy ways. Accept, O Lord, the dedication of this hall, and make it, and the work for which it is to be set apart, instrumental in promoting the reign of peace on earth and goodwill among men. Here may thy name be honored, thy laws obeyed, and thy glory exalted and magnified. So order, O loving Father, that within these consecrated walls none but the good and true may enter, that here men may learn to forget the passions, the strife, the heart-burnings, and jealousies of the world, and obedient to the precepts of our time-honored brotherhood, learn to love each other and draw near to thee. Enlarge and broaden the sympathies of the brethren for the poor and oppressed, for the widow and the dear little ones who may need their care and protection, and make us all feel that such service is acceptable in thy sight. And finally, O Father, incline our hearts to thy service, and all our acts to thy glory. And when the veils of this earthly tabernacle are rent, take us to thy presence, there to join with all the heavenly hosts, in ascribing never-ending praise to thy name. Amen.
So be it.
Would everyone please be seated? Grand Lodge officers, level space. Forward march. Grand Lodge officers, halt. Inward face.
Most worshipful Grand Master, in the dedication of Masonic halls, it has been an immemorial custom to pour corn upon the lodge as an emblem of nourishment. I therefore present to you this vessel of corn to be employed by you according to ancient Masonic usage.
In the name of the great Jehovah, to whom be all honor and glory, I solemnly rededicate this hall to Freemasonry.
Brethren, prepare to give the grand honors. Together, brethren. Grand Lodge officers, left face. Forward, march. Grand Lodge officers, halt. Inward face.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, wine and all refreshment, having been used by our ancient brethren in ceremonies of dedication and consecration, I present you this vessel of wine to be used on the present occasion according to ancient Masonic law.
In the name of the Holy Saints John, I solemnly rededicate this hall to virtue.
Brethren, prepare to give the grand honors. Together, brethren. Grand Lodge officers, left face. Forward, march. Lodge officers, halt. Inward face.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present you to be used in accordance with ancient Masonic custom, this vessel of oil, emblematic of the joy which should animate every heart upon the completion of any important meeting.
In the name of the whole fraternity, I solemnly rededicate this hall to universal benevolence.
Brethren, prepare to give the grand honors. Together, brethren. Would everyone rise again for prayer?
And may the Lord, the giver of every good and perfect gift, bless the brethren here assembled in all their lawful undertakings, and grant to each one of them in equal supply the corn of nourishment, the wine of refreshment, and the oil of joy. Amen.
So Lord be.
Lord Grand Marshal, we will make the official proclamation.
By order of the Most Worshipful Grand Master, I hereby proclaim that the hall in which we are assembled has been rededicated to the purposes of Freemasonry
in due and ancient form. All persons interested may take notice, due notice, and govern themselves accordingly.
Well, that concludes the formal ceremonies, and at this time I'd like to call on Worship Brother Stephen Chapman to give a history of Barrington Lodge number 522. Brother Steve.
Barrington Masonic Lodge number 522 is a consolidated lodge consisting of 3 once independent lodges: Monitor of Elgin, Lounsbury of Barrington, and Arlington Heights. In 1866, a group of 7 men moved west from Waltham, Massachusetts to found the Elgin National Watch Company. 5 of the 7 were Freemasons, who, along with local merchants, determined that Elgin needed a new lodge. It was granted a charter on October 1st, 1867, taking its name Monitor from the home lodge in Waltham, Massachusetts. Samuel French became the first worshipful master, and Monitor swelled its ranks with watch company employees for the next 100 years. Monitor's first home was above the Yarwood and Company store. Next was the Bosworth building on Fountain Square Plaza. Then the second floor of the Home National Bank Company. 1908 saw a move into the Masonic Temple on Villa Street. However, in 1920, a fire burned the temple to the ground, destroying everything. Less than 3 years later, Monitor had rebuilt their meeting place at North State Street. The new facility had 2 large lodge rooms, a grand ballroom that hosted bands, dances, and graduation ceremonies for Elgin High School. It was Monitor's home for over 67 years. The building was sold in March of 1991. 4 years later, Monitor merged with Lounsbury on April 17. Arlington Heights, number 1122, was chartered October 8, 1929. The lodge met in the Arlington Heights Presbyterian Church Gymnasium until 1961, when a new temple was completed at 100 South State Street. After almost 50 years, the building was sold, and Arlington Heights rented from Monitor Lounsbury until a consolidation was approved in January 2012. Lounsbury Lodge, number 751, was chartered on October 4th, 1877. It was named after George Lounsbury, Grand Master of Illinois from 1874 to 1875. His picture hangs downstairs. It was presented to Lounsbury Lodge in 1940 by his son, who was Grand Master of Wisconsin. In Barrington, our first meeting place was probably over Hank Abbott's drugstore at 111 South Cook Street, which is right next door to the place where we'll be having our lunch. We next moved to Howe and Main Streets, and this lodge occupied the upstairs until a fire broke out in 1898. The whole block burned to the ground and all property was lost. Lounsbury's next home was the 3rd floor of the Continental Commercial Hotel at 232 East Main Street. From there, they moved to the 2nd floor of the Schrader Hardware Company at Cook and Station. The brethren wanted a hall of their own, so in 1931, they brought the old Methodist Society Church building. This building was built in 1872. 2010 saw a redesign and rebuild of the downstairs and exterior, incorporating many Masonic symbolic Masonic elements into the building, like a flight of winding stairs, Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian columns. The downstairs meeting hall was renamed the Stevenson Fellowship Hall. The upstairs lodge room, preparation room, and Tyler's rooms were gutted and rebuilt in 2016. Along with replacing furniture, carpets, and paneling, the heating and cooling systems were upgraded. 522 has never lost sight of the allegiance due to our country. In our history, many veterans have joined our lodge. We had 24 Civil War veterans who preserved the Union. We had 2 veterans of the Spanish-American War. In World War I, 60 members joined the fight over there. World War II veterans fought in the Pacific and across Europe, and today we have several Gulf War vets. 522 builds brotherly love through monthly fellowship events like cigar night, shooting events, our annual lodge picnic, past Masters night, and our ever-popular Christmas party. 522 grants relief to our community. We have a rich history of charity, much of it anonymous. Our charities today range from purchasing thermal imaging units for Elgin and Barrington fire departments, supporting Shop with a Cop and Adopt a Highway, and even handing out Halloween candy. 522 grants relief to our neighbors. We help the disadvantaged, our continuing support of organizations like Countryside Foundation, which helps developmentally challenged adults, and we recently sponsored a special needs soapbox derby racer. We support Grand Lodge programs like Coins for Kids and IL Chip childhood identification programs. 522 upholds truth by promoting excellence in education through our sponsorship of 2 area high school teams in the Masonic Academic Bowl, and through our annual Arlington Heights Scholarship to worthy college students. 522's commitment to community, charity, and fellowship have allowed Barrington Lodge to attain the Grand Master's Awards of Excellence for 17 straight years.
Thank you. Excellent. And at this point in time, it wouldn't be a Masonic function unless we have some introductions. So I'm going to call on our Right Worshipful Brother Jim Strong to give some introductions. Is Patsy out there, Jim?
No.
They're downstairs. Him and his lady, they're the ones that spearhead all of these events. They come out and work with the lodge beforehand and ensure that everything goes real smooth. And we certainly want to thank Brother Jim and his lady, Patsy.
Thank you. Thank you, Master. I appreciate those words. Brethren, ladies and friends, I'm going to introduce about half the people in this room. The Worship Master gets to introduce the other half. So if you would hold your applause until I get a number of these brethren and ladies on their feet, I would certainly appreciate it. Otherwise, we're going to be here a long time. I will introduce the brethren that helped with this ceremony, our symbol bearers. Brother Jim Newby, Worshipful Brother John Nick Weldon, Worshipful Brother Josh Winstead, and Worshipful Brother Scott Olson. Our principal architect is Worshipful Brother Todd Markwood. Master of the oldest lodge is Worshipful Brother Richard J. Stevenson. And I believe the prize for the longest distance traveled to get to this ceremony will go to you.
Sure.
Our senior deacon is Brother Jan Stensrud. And, of course, the lodge history speaker is Worshipful Brother Stephen Chapman. Let's give these brethren a round of applause. Thank you very much. We have some District Deputy Grand Masters in attendance. District Deputy Grand Masters are the guys that get chewed out by the district or by the lodges that they represent, by the area deputy, and by the ultimate Mason is our Grand Master, and these guys all get taken by the, they really do provide a fabulous service. District Deputy Grand Masters. Right Worshipful Brother Scott Tipsworth is the District Deputy for the 2nd Northeastern Right Worshipful Brother Scott Neville. He is the District Deputy Grand Master for the 8th Northeast. Let's give these two brethren a round. We are honored today to have two Assistant Area Deputy Grand Masters in attendance. Right Worshipful Brother Gary W. Hare and his grandson Jaden Norris. And Right Worshipful Brother Jack Baylor. Let's give these two brethren a round of applause. We have two area deputies in attendance today. Right Worshipful Brother Herbert J. Lindbergh, who is the area deputy for the Northeast area, and Right Worshipful Brother Dana Barlow, who is area deputy for the Northern area. Let's give these two brethren a round. Our appointed Grand Lodge officers are Brother John C. Loaiza Sr., Assistant Grand Chancellor, and he is from Northbrook. Today he is sitting in as Grand Treasurer. Brother Jeffrey W. Miller, Assistant Grand Organist, and he is from Lanark. Brother Merle T. Fox, Grand Historian, and his Lady Mary is downstairs, and they are from Jacksonville. Brother Stephen L. Walls, Assistant Grand Tyler, and he is from Springfield. He is filling in today as a junior deacon. Brother Jeffrey D. Derrick, Grand Tyler, and his Lady Ann, and she is downstairs also, and they are from Springfield. Brother Byford O. Cook, Worshipful Grand Steward, and he is from Albion, and he is filling in today as a senior deacon. Brother James T. Edgell, Worshipful Grand Steward, and his Lady Gina, and their sons, Tyler, who is a junior deacon in the Bloomingdale chapter of DMLA, and Eddie, who is also a member of the Bloomingdale chapter of DMLA. Brother Scott D. Neville, Worshipful Grand Standard Bearer, and his Lady Helene, and they are from Addison. Brother Jorge Vargas, Worshipful Grand Steward, and his lady, I believe, is downstairs also, and they are from Chicago. Brother Andy Hassan, Worshipful Grand Standard Bearer, and he is from Italy Hills. Brother Michael E. Ale, Worshipful Grand Pursuivant, and his lady Gail, who is downstairs, and they are from Lyons. Brother Robert J. Struthers, Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain, and he is from Spring Valley. Brother Joseph B. Farrell, Worshipful Junior Grand Deacon, and he is from Chicago, and he is filling in as Junior Grand Warden. Brother David P. Lynch, Worshipful Senior Grand Deacon, and his Lady Judy, and they are from Monique. Let's give these brethren and their ladies. And every one of those guys and our ladies are really great people. I like it. Our elected Grand Lodge officers are Brother Franklin E. Klein, Right Worshipful Grand Secretary, and he is from Jacksonville. Brother Stephen F. Oakley, Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden, and he is from Prairie du Rocher. Brother Gregory L. Clark, Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, and his Lady Gertie is downstairs, and they are from Bloomington. Let's give these brethren and their ladies downstairs a round of applause. Proud to introduce our most worshipful Grand Master's lady, Charlene, and she is also downstairs. Brethren, ladies, and friends, I have the honor of introducing Brother Anthony R. Crocker, most worshipful Grand Master of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons in the state of Illinois.
announce there's not a disrespect for this lodge's celebration, but in order to make sure that there was ample seating for all the members of this lodge. And by the looks of it, you needed the space, and it's very good to see it. But there certainly would have loved to have been here, but again, there wasn't able, they didn't want to hold anybody from the lodge not being able to see the ceremony. At this time, I'm going to call on the worshipful master, worshipful Brother Remington, to make any introductions or presentations that you would like to do.
Thank you. First, I'd like to introduce my lodge officers. We're going to start with Brother Senior Warden, Brian Owen. Brother Junior Warden, Greg Gingrich. Brother Treasurer, Worshipful Brother Dan Perez. Brother Secretary, Brother Sean Woods. Brother Senior Deacon, Jan Spitzer. Brother Junior Deacon, Nick Page. Brother Senior Steward, Mark McCord. Brother Junior Steward, Ozzie Trejo. Brother Chaplain, Jay Bobek. Brother Marshall, Chuck Mason. Brother Tyler, Aaron Bueller. Thank you, brothers. Quite lovely.
My pleasure. Our pleasure. Thank you very much, Worshipful.
I'd like to thank all the Grand Lodge officers for coming here and their attendance and helping out with that ceremony. I'd like to thank our District Deputy, Grand Master Scott Tepsort, and the entirety of our Past Masters Committee, your constant advice and guiding light. I'd also like to point out something neat that we did with our symbol bearers. As Brother Chapman said, we're a merging of 3 lodges, and they are represented first by Brother Jim Newby, representing Monitor Lodge. Representing Monitor Lonsberry, Brother Jim Perez. Oh, so did I'm sorry, Brother John Weldon. Representing Arlington Heights was Brother Josh Lindstead. Representing Barrington Lodge in its entirety is Brother Scott Olson. Thank you very much for coordinating that. I'd also like to thank the 150th committee that really put this together with spearhead by Worshipful Brother Stephen Chapman, with the assistance of Brother Jim Perez, Brother David Kevich, Brother Don Weidenhofer, and Brother Scott Olson. Thank you very much for coordinating all this. And in attendance here with us, we also have Lisa Stamos from Barrington Quintessential, and Larry and John from Country Magazine. So I'd like to thank you guys for coming out and covering this evening for us. I would also like to thank our families that let us come out here a couple times a month and spend some good time with us. Thank you very much. I'd also like to turn this over now to Worshipful Brother Todd Marco. So that is one last thank you to me.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as you know, this is our 150th, and this lodge has gone through, the physical building has gone through a lot of transformation. And it's due, in large part, downstairs, upstairs, landscaping, use of architects, all kinds of resources donated to us by a benefactor, illustrious Brother Stevenson. Now, when I say illustrious brother, those that you don't know, that means he's a 33rd degree. That is very, very high honor and basement. But in our 150 years, we have made one honorable past master. So I would like to call up Worshipful Brother Stevenson. present you this holy Bible. You ready with your name, and signed by the brother. And if you will indulge us, you give us a few words.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Now, unaccustomed I am to public address, I'll struggle through this by simply saying, I'm grateful. I'm grateful in words beyond those simple to call thank you. I am the product of I'm the 6th generation Scottish Freemason in my family. My son-in-law represents the 7th. My 2 sons, Dr. Chris and Sean, can't be here. We're a merchant banking family. They're busy. They are the 7th generation of Freemasons. Freemasonry, as you may or may not know, is the oldest fraternity of men in the world. It's the largest by far, and without question the most charitable. I know it to be on 7 continents. I took my daughter around the world and found the Grand Lodge of the Ukraine and chartered a lodge in Antarctica, where they were mapping the ozone layer. So I know we're on all 7 continents, only 6 of which are broadly discussed. We happen to be a merchant banking family on those same 6 continents. We have no investment interest in Antarctica. More importantly, I told you it was the most charitable. We admit in this country, I think formally now, to about $3 million a day from our various Masonic organizations. That's quintupled easily by the members of the Masonic work, thus making us by far and away the most charitable organization in this country. And remember I said we're in all countries. We hide sometimes behind the Lions Club in Egypt. We're in, believe it or not, used to be Persia, it's now Iran. We're in Iran. In a clandestine way, you're not allowed in some parts of the world to profess your love of the Lord. It's not acceptable. But it is for us to gather no matter what those barriers to our gathering might be. And we've done that consistently. I said it's the oldest. We're not only celebrating the 150th here this year, but the 300th anniversary of the formalization of modern Freemasonry in Great Britain. When 4 lodges came together, decided they didn't need to drink alone. I beg your pardon. They wanted to come together in brotherhood and in hope, faith, and charity. That's just us. I didn't say, but you heard it implied in all of the remarks from these illustrious gentlemen, and boy, did you carry it off well, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. The moral code governs our behavior. Does it or does it not? Well, if you're a Freemason, it does. And what do I mean by that? It's so simple when you put it together in this way. When you see someone less well off than yourself, they're applied to something that is dragging them down, not giving them the light that they might have otherwise sought and hoped somehow they would find. You see them, and you're in a unique position to do something about that which you discover in their plight. Without harm to yourself, your family, and your Lord, you step into it. It's an opportunity you uniquely have. You step into it. You make the difference as best you can. No muss, no fuss, no conversation. That's why you heard much of the charitable activities, the philosophic as well as the philanthropic activities of our craft are anonymous. Maybe for too long we've been anonymous. Holding this great light under the bushel well, whatever it used to be called, would you put apples? A bushel of apples. Holding this great light of Freemasonry under such a bushel of opportunity and enlightened view of how we've been about our craft for so long is probably a mistake. We've never been a secret society. We're not a secret society. We're simply a private group of honest men trying to find a way to be better across the hundreds and hundreds of years of our work. It's time now for us to be better known. And some of you are here today to make that happen. I'm delighted. I'm more grateful than the words thank you can tell you. To be a part of this craft, and frankly, to be honored in such a way. It's undeserved, I assure you. These are the gentlemen who made it happen. John Peter Corelli, his light, and his son Peter, who came together to continually make this happen, and all of you who were here before and have come since have made things happen in this, before Lions clubs, before Rotary clubs. We've all been members and presidents of these clubs, fabulous clubs. But before all that, communities around the world came together with one glue. That glue was a fraternity called Freemasonry. That's what brought communities together, and that's what took care of those less well off in all these communities. Aren't you happy to be a Freemason?
appreciate it. I too want to take this opportunity to thank Barrington Lodge and its members for what they've done in this building. It is amazing. You guys ought to get a hand for all the hard work that you've done to make this happen. Thank you very much. You know, as Grand Lodge officers, we get to travel quite a bit throughout Illinois, and some of us go up to other jurisdictions also. But you know, I've always, my mantra has been, be courteous and civil to one another. And I certainly have found that today here. And we certainly want to thank you for the hospitality and amenities that you extended, not just to us, but to our ladies too. We certainly appreciate it and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We all understand that Freemasonry is a commitment. And today I want to just ask the worshipful master to stand up. Worshipful Brother Remington is a good example of that. And I'm going to explain why. Brother Chapman, didn't you say that how many years in a row did you get the Award of Excellence?
17.
17 years in a row. Isn't it amazing? This year, your worshipful master, to ensure that they would get it the 17th year, drove all the way to our area deputy Grand Master's house to hand it to him personally to ensure that he would get it. Thank you very much.
That long pattern of success was started by my father-in-law.
And we certainly appreciate it. Again, it certainly is our pleasure to be here to help celebrate your 150th year. I probably won't be here for the 200, but if I am, I would certainly love an invitation back. The men and women of this lodge have really been exemplary. Not just for Freemasonry, but also in your communities. And you deserve kudos for that. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. With the assistance of the symbol bearers, you will retire the symbol. Brother Grand Marshal, you will form the Grand Lodge officers for the recession.
Brother Grand First Mont, Brother Grand Standard Bearer, Brother Grand Sword Bearer. Prepare for the recession. Lodge officers, forward march.
Ceremony ended on time. That concludes our ceremony today. Thank you all again for coming out. I think we've got some pictures to take for my officers, so please stick around. At 3 o'clock, we'll be at McDonald's for some lunch and some drinks. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.